Good morning, children. Sharnu Sharanarthigalu. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know that, children, after a long time, we are meeting, we are interacting through this video in my channel. And this delay is only because of the unit test. Yes, and let me congratulate you for successfully completing your first unit test. And I am very happy to say that you have done very well in the first unit test. Thank you so much for responding very well towards our activities which we are conducting for the betterment of your future. Now, in this video, I am going to start a new reader which is Supplementary Reader from 7th Standard, An Alien Hand. Yes, the name of the reader is An Alien Hand, and we have here in this reader many interesting stories which are going to teach us many moral values. In the first chapter, which I am going to start, before starting it, let me ask you a question. Children, name a insect which is smallest as well as wisest. What it may be? Yes, name a insect which is smallest, it should be smallest, Apu, and wisest also. What it may be? Yes, it is none other than an ant. Yes. So, today in this video, I am going to explain the chapter which is called The Tiny Teacher. As you can see on screen, the picture of ant as well as the title of the chapter. The title of the chapter is The Tiny Teacher. Children, in this world, we have many of the things which God has created very beautifully, and each and every object of the world is teaching in different manner to us. Yes, this ant is also known for its hard work, its discipline, its unity, and thinking more about future. And also here in this chapter we are going to explore the different features of the ants as well as the interesting facts of the ants. Children, I know that everybody has watched the ants closely because we have ants in our home as pets. Yes, Sapu. If we don't want, then also it will be in our houses. So everyone has watched them very closely. When they move, you know how they move. Yeah, that's why we have to learn the unity from the ants and how they carry the food for themselves as well as for their family members. That is called hard working. Yes, so in this video I am going to explain many of the interesting facts of ant. I am sure you will enjoy this explanation. And here in this lesson we have some difficult words glossary part. As you can see on your screen, you can take the screenshot or else you can copy from here itself. Let's move for the explanation of the chapter. Before ending the video, I'll show you a video, one more video. I'll add one more video for this video, which will be the animation explanation of this chapter, which will help you to understand more thoroughly and more interestingly about the ants. Yes. Now let's start the explanation. The chapter name is The Tiny Teacher. Though so very small, The ant is unbelievably intelligent and hardworking. In the first paragraph, we are going to see about this hardworking and intelligent ant. Next, among the various kinds, the commonest ant is black or red. Children, you know very well that we have seen red color ant as well as the black ants, and you know very well that red ant is more dangerous than the black ant. Ant lives in comfortable homes called ant hills. Children, the home of the ants are called nest or ant hills. Let's start the reading of paragraph, and when I'll complete each paragraph, I'll explain that para. Name the smallest insect you have seen and the wisest. Is it the fly? No, it isn't. Is it the mosquito? No, not the mosquito. Then it must be the worm. No, none of these. It is the ant, the commonest, the smallest, but the wisest insect. The story of an ant's life sounds almost untrue, but people have kept ants as pets and have watched their daily behavior closely. So we know a number of facts about this tiny, hardworking, and intelligent creature. Yes, children, as I asked you before itself, which is the smallest insect and wisest insect you know? And you answered me that is ant, and it is a commonest insect which is which stories of this insect is almost untrue. Children, underline this word untrue. This word means here remarkably to be true. Yes, and we know that ants are very small, ants are very intelligent, and they are very hardworking creatures. And we all have watched their daily routine closely because we kept them as pets in our houses. Yes, children. They are the pets of our house, and we have watched them very clearly, very closely, their daily behaviors. And we know number of facts, and we know many of the facts of this ant creature or hardworking ant. Next, in the second paragraph, an ant uses its feelers or antenna to talk to other ants by passing messages through them. Watch a row of ants moving up or down the wall. Each ant greets all the others coming from the opposite direction by touching their feelers. Children, feelers or antenna, as I given in the glossary part also, the meaning of this word antenna, it is a part of a ant which is used, it is a kind of a device which is used to uh, talk or transmit the message or else vibration to the other ants. Children, when the ants were moving up and down on the wall, then you can keenly observe that when they move, they will be touching the other ants' feelers to greet each one of them. Yes, children, they'll greet each other ant which were coming from the opposite direction by touching their feelers, by touching their antenna. And when they touches that, then it is directly shows they are greeting each other. I hope children you are understanding. And one more thing, whenever you sit to watch the video, take your pencil, take notebook as well as take the textbook. Don't sit only by taking the phone. It is completely useless. When must and should you have to carry these things while watching the video. Why? Because whenever I'll explaining the lesson, that time I'll use many of the difficult words and with and also their meaning, so you have to underline and write in your textbook. So in the third paragraph, There are many kinds of ants. The commonest among them are the black or red ones. We have seen them since we were children but haven't paid enough attention to them. Where do they live? In their comfortable homes called nest or ant hills. Each has hundreds of little rooms and passages. In some of these rooms, the queen ant lay eggs. Other are nurseries for the young ones called grubs. Workers have their reserved quarters. Children in this third para, they explained about the fact of commonest among ants. Commonest ant. Which are those? Those are red and black. Uh, as we know that, and as we know the fact that red one is dangerous than the black one, and we are seeing them since our childhood, since our childhood, but we haven't paid enough attention towards them. And the biggest question is, always we have watched them while moving from here and there, but do we know where they live, where they stays? Yes, they stay a, in a nest or ant hills. The homes of ants are called as nest or ant hills. Very comfortably they stays there, and each ant nest of ant has hundreds of little rooms and hundreds of passages in a sense, ways to pass from here and there. And also there is a room for queen ant. Yes, queen ant, female ant who lay eggs. Special room for queen ant, which is used to lays the eggs. And also some other rooms are there for the nurseries in a sense. It is a place which is it is a room which used to keep the grubs in a sense, small ants, or else the eggs of the ant. And now workers have their reserved quarters. As I said, hundreds of room they are having. So neatly everything was divided in between them. And queen ant has its room, and many of the nurseries are there. And now for worker ants, they have reserved quarters, rooms separate. They spend most of their time searching for food. Some rooms serve as storehouses for this food. Soldiers have separate bracks. No worker has ever tried to live in a soldier's house. No soldier has ever gone out searching for food. No worker or soldier or a cleaner has ever harmed a grub. So you see, an ant's life is very peaceful. Each does its share of work intelligently and bravely and never fights with other members of the group. Very important paragraph. Here, children, as I said you, they neatly divided each quarter for the different kinds of different department of the ants. Firstly, we know a queen ant has its separate room to lay the eggs, and worker have their separate rooms, which is called quarters here. And also the ants spend most of the time in a day for searching the food. As I said you, this saves a lot for their future, so they will be always busy in searching the food. Some rooms serve as storehouses, children, for storing the food. Yes, they saves the food for future, they thinks a lot for future. So they reserve some places, some rooms for storing the food, which is called as storehouse here. And soldiers have separate rooms, workers have separate rooms, cleaner ant has separate room, and each department never ever tried to harm or to interfere in other work. For example, were soldiers never interfere in the works of cleaner, and cleaner never ever harmed the grubs, and soldiers never gone out for searching the food. So here neatly each and everything has divided into them, and they never ever fight with other ants. They will be always in the life of peaceful, which we have to, especially human beings, we have to learn from them. They never fight, they never quarrel, they never interfere in other works. They do their work which has been assigned by the others. Yes, and the life of ant is very, very peaceful. And they spend their life very intelligently, bravely, and neatly, disciplinedly. I hope you have understand this para. Let's move for the next paragraph. The queen ant has a pair of wings which she casts off before she begins to lay eggs. Eggs hatch, they become grubs. Grubs change into cocoons, and cocoons break to bring forth complete ants. The life of ant, ordinary ant in the ant hill, is a book which many of you seldom open. Yes, children, these are the facts which I am going to explain in the next uh, explanation. The queen is the mother of the entire population of the colony. It lives for about 15 years. Underline this line, very important. Queen ant lives for 15 years. It has a pair of wings, and she bites them off after its wedding flight. This flight takes place on a hot summer day. The queen leaves the nest and goes out to meet a male ant or a drone. Underline this word, opposite gender of ant, high up in the air. On its return to earth, it gets rid of its wings and then does nothing but lay eggs. Children, the interesting fact of queen ant is it is the mother of entire colony, where they stays, and it has two it has a pair of wings, and also it lives for 15 years. After that, when she will bites those wings, when she completed her wedding flight, and this wedding flight takes place in the hot summer days. And also the queen leaves its nest. When she goes out to meet the drone or male ant, and after that she returned to earth, and she cuts her wings, and she lays the eggs in her room. Each hatch and grub come out. Soldier guard them. Workers feed and clean them, and also carry them about daily for airing, exercise, and sunshine. Very interesting fact here. When a queen ant lay eggs, the other department of ants, for example soldiers, what they'll do, they will guard those grub which has come out from the queen ant. They guard them, and workers, what they'll do, soldiers guard them, workers feed them and clean them. They washes those grubs, and next they also carry them out. Why they carry them out, those grubs? For giving air, for some exercise, for giving the sunshine also. 2 or 3 weeks later, grubs become cocoons and lie without food or activity for 3 weeks more. Then the cocoons break out, perfect ants appear. Now it's time for teaching and training. New ants learn their duties from old ants as worker, soldiers, builds, cleaners, etc. After a few weeks training, the small big world of work. The small ants are ready to go out into a big world of. So, the procedure of grub converting into an ant has been given in this paragraph, which is very interesting. First, queen ant lays eggs, and then those grubs which had been laid by the queen ant will be guarded by the soldiers, and next those grubs will be fed and cleaned by workers ant. Then also they carried them outside for daily airing, exercise, and for giving the sunshine. And it takes time of 2 to 3 weeks. This procedure runs for 2 to 3 weeks. After that, 2 or 3 weeks completion, grubs converts into cocoons. This is the next step. Then cocoons lie without food and any activity for complete 3 weeks, more than 3 weeks also. After that, when they completes the 3 weeks, then they break out and takes the complete shape of ant. This is the procedure of converting a grub into an ant. When this one has been completed, then the real work will start now. What was that? It is giving training and teaching those ants for work and to go out and face the world. Teaching, giving training of cleaners, soldiers, workers, and after giving the training, they goes out to face the big world of work. Next, an anthill is a home not only for ants but also for some other creatures. Beetles, lesser beasts of ants, and the green fly. Why do ants want these alien creatures to live in their nest? For several reasons. Children, anthills or nest of ants are not only the houses for ants, it is also a home for the other creatures. For example, green fly, beetles, lesser breeds, etc. Why do you think, children, they allow those creatures to live with them? Is it for time pass? No, the exact reason is, there is a particular reason, is some give of smell pleasant to the ants' sense and others give sweet juice, and some are just pets or playing things like cats and dogs to human beings. Yes, children, they allow the other creatures to live with them in their ant hills is only that some other creatures are giving pleasant smell there, and also some are used for giving the sweet juices, and some others are like playing things, dogs or cats, how human beings used as pets. Especially the green fly is the ant's cow. The ants train it to give honeydew like milk with a touch of their antenna. They milk it just as we milk the cow. Yes, children. Especially the green fly insect is used to give milk through its antenna to the ants. Yes, it is very important. Underline this line. A green fly is used to give the milk, and it is a cow for the ants. How we are drinking the milk of cow, human beings, same they use the green fly milk or a sweet juice as a cow milk. Next, have humans learned as much as ants have? Perhaps they have, but they haven't put their learning to good use. Children, till now we have seen lots of facts and disciplinary manner from the ants. Now, children, do you think human beings have learned as much as ants have? Yes, they have. They know. They knew everything about this. But the problem is they don't use it for work. They may still learn a few things from this tiny teacher: hard work, sense of duty, and discipline, cleanliness, care for the young ones, and above all, a firm loyalty to the land where they live. Very important. Yes, children. Lastly, while ending the lesson, they ended it with very beautiful line, that is, human beings can learn from this tiny teacher discipline, loyalty, unity, hard work, and especially and above all this, a firm loyalty towards the motherland. Yes, children, which human being must and should learn from this tiny teacher, which is an ant. I hope you all have understood this lesson, and there is little bit disturbance in this video. Manage it, children. So, children, this is the complete explanation of the chapter. I hope you enjoyed the explanation and understood very well. Thank you for watching the video. Before ending the video, I'll remind you once again that in the beginning of the video, I said you I am going to add one animation video of the same chapter. So watch it completely and once again enjoy the explanation. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
A tiny teacher. Hardworking, helpful, social, and disciplined creatures are our ants. An ant has feelers, which is also called antenna. It uses them to talk and greet other ants while moving up or down the wall. An ant, as we know, has feelers, which is called antenna. The ant, being the smallest insect, is an intelligent and hard-working creature. They work as a team. Ants live together in peace and harmony. They do their own work and do not interfere in the others' work. They never fight with other ants of the same group. So, their life is peaceful. Ant babies are called grubs. It takes 5 to 6 weeks for a grub to become a complete ant. Workers, ants, carry the grubs about for daily exercise and sunshine. The new ants learn the duties of workers, cleaners, soldiers, and builders from old ants. An anthill is also home to other creatures like beetles, lesser breeds of ants, and the green fly. The ants give them shelter because they get sweet juices and pleasant smell from them. The green fly is the ant's cow. So we now know that there are many other creatures which live in the anthill. An anthill also has hundreds of little rooms and passages. These rooms are reserved for members of the community. Room for the queen ant to lay eggs, nurseries for the young ones, quarters for workers, storehouses for food, and barracks for soldiers. The queen ant is the mother of the entire population of the colony, and her lifespan is about 15 years. So the ants have wonderfully divided their work. You have the queen, you have the soldier, and you have the minor workers and cleaners and nurses to look after the grubs. Ants love to work and live together. So, what can we learn from ants? We can learn hard work, sense of duty, and loyalty from this tiny teacher. So, children, we know that an ant is a hard-working, intelligent, disciplined, and a loyal creature which lives in a colony. Now, here in this video, students, you can see how all the ants are working together and carrying a beetle, a dead beetle, inside their anthill where it will be stored. Look carefully how the worker ants are gathering around it and carrying it. And in this video, you can see this is the video of an anthill, how each worker ant is carrying food items inside the anthill. An ant works not only for itself but for the entire colony. They work in a group and they love to stay together as a group. This is an ant hill. They make their ant hill in a soft area where the soil is good for them.